Rish, feel free to stay in the physical world, but if we could maybe turn to the virtual world. Is it different in the virtual world? There is no rural and urban, there is no desert in the virtual world. How should we begin to think about accessibility in Superworld?
Yeah, the metaverse really provides us with a new opportunity to visualize and interact with the world around us in immersive computing environments. And so, again, we can reimagine the world, whether it's architecture, whether it's geographies, topology, literally anything around us, and we can also go totally virtual in environments. Superworld, which is specifically the company that, again, I founded and I'm running as a CEO, is a virtual world mapped on top of on the real world. And so Superworld is all around us in the geographies that we live in, rural, urban, everywhere in the planet. And so you can go into virtual immersive environments wherever you are, in a city, whether you're in the countryside. Connectivity here is very important as well, even though once you have that connectivity, you can reimagine and create environments around you and create opportunities for anyone around the world to access those environments as if they're there. And that's a term called presence, when you can go into a virtual environment, and for you, it seems completely like reality. It's indistinguishable from your reality. And these are the really special benefits of the metaverse, as well as Web3 and blockchain technology gives us ownership of these environments and ownership of these assets that are being created all over the world.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you for a prediction, Rish.
Sure.
I don't know how many people here in the audience, but in 2007, I was at Mobile World Congress when the smartphone was launched. We were not predicting in 2007 that the world would be where it is in 2022. So, we're here in Riyadh in 2022. How long will it take before we all have a presence in the metaverse? Because every single person here has one of these. I'm going to take that bet. Every single person lives on one of these. Every single person does exactly what Alice says, is when they leave the house in the morning without their mobile phone, they go back home. So how long will it take before we all have a presence?
Yeah, so presence, again, is when you're fully immersed in virtual reality or augmented reality, and it feels, like I said, indistinguishable from real life. And so you can have presence in augmented reality with a hologram if you're communicating with someone who's across the world and they enter your living room, or you can go into space, with a pair of VR goggles on. If you look at mobile phones, there's about 3.5 billion mobile phones that are AR enabled. So literally every new mobile phone is now augmented reality enabled. And that's why you saw the game Pokemon Go really, grow so fast. It was the fastest growing company in history when it came out, and it's doing extremely well still. But the point is AR technology is pretty accessible with mobile phones. And as glasses come out, as the new form factor, Apple's spending a lot of money and resources on this, so is Facebook, so is Google, so companies around the world are really investing into the new form factor there. I'd say in the next 4 to 5 years, you're gonna find the price points on, not only VR headsets continue to decline. Oculus Quest now is, really reached critical mass especially in the West and the US, and I think that will expand over the next 5 years. But you'll also see new form factor in terms of AR glasses, and that's going to come much faster because the mobile technology is using the same software, ARKit on iOS and AR Core on Android, which will be, again, the platform that will enable AR content to go onto the glasses.
So did I hear 2027?
yeah, I'd say 2027 we'll find that the mobile technology and glasses will be at a price point where I think you'll be making a decision whether you're buying a pair of glasses that come with your mobile phone or just maybe even buying a pair of glasses.
Just buy the glasses.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ahmed, if I can bring you in. So the internet expands. IoT becomes scaled across machines, across more and more business and domestic applications. What does that mean about industrialization, and how do we take full advantage of that?
Thank you. The IoT is already a concept we are familiar with in everyday life. So wearable devices and all these kind of things. So many people are already using IoT devices in a way or another. But the IIoT, which is the industry part of IoT, which, if you like, call it B2B type of IoT, they are more advanced, more security, compatible. Plus, they can provide more sophisticated type of data, connected data for us. And they are the basic cornerstone for Industry 4.0, because you need to connect devices. And the IoT itself is not, it just collect data and pass information to machines to make them more smarter and interacting with people, but it has an ecosystem, which is what is interesting to talk about. Ecosystem is business applications that you need to read the data and make sense out of this data and make decisions, informed decisions. Ecosystem include also business processes, which is extremely important to generate value for the whole business. And to give you example here, if you are able to read specific data for machines, for example, that will enable you to predict, for example, next time for maintenance. So instead of plant maintenance, you do predictive. Automotive, they use a robotic system heavily in their manufacturing. They need to deploy IoT in order to be able to predict certain malfunction or inefficiency or even maintenance needs. But on the process side, I can give you example, just real example. If you imagine a battery production system or a company that produce battery for automotive cars. So if you are using IoT, which mainly they are, you can simplify the process that used to be there from the supplier or manufacturer to the consumer. Because there are many functions, or many parts of the process are repetitive. So normally you inspect at the factory, you inspect at the consumer. Sometimes you need to eliminate people intervention to the whole process to make it more accurate. Some other time you want to use RFID, for example, and scan every battery coming out of the factory so that the customer can also trigger a process at their end, because the battery is used for something. So he needs to trigger a process and minimize the time of storage. So from factory all the way to usage. So there are so many advantages of pulling data out of IoT, analyzing, but also it is very important to reflect this amount of data we are able to read into your business processes and then generate value for business.